Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down about 0.15% on the S&P. Nasdaq is pretty much flat. Semi, Dow, small caps, they're down a little bit today. Banks down about 1%. Energy close to 1% there. Transport also about 1% negative. Biotech and pharmaceuticals staying strong. Positive performances today. Emerging market down a little bit. Grayscale, Bitcoin did see a pop today, 10% positive. Gold, silver, miners, slightly green, slightly red. Dollar flat. Oil down a little bit. Treasury bond up about a 1%. VIX did pop 5% there today. Let's stick with the spider 65-minute chart here. So I think we didn't really see a follow through today, except we start to deteriorate to the downside. So what we're seeing last couple of days is that we are seeing these gap ups here. You can see that yesterday we saw that gap up from here to here that was sold on the first hour. We saw another gap up today. Looks like here, this is where it closed yesterday. We gapped up right here and it was slowly deteriorated to the downside, and you can see that we made a lower price versus last night's closing price. So looking at the price section here, overall, we're slightly below my short-term moving average. My short-term moving average is still, rising though, but we're slightly below it. And you can see the last several sessions, we haven't gone anywhere. So I think in the short term, we're kind of starting to get into maybe a neutral zone, right? In the short to micro term, I should say. But overall, we're still in the vicinity of higher highs and higher low here. We've just been kind of pausing here in the last several days. I want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers overall, though, knowing that this gap is still open and we're starting to get a little choppiness here, right? But I think overall, despite the fact that we've seen some sluggishness and maybe a little bit of gap up and fades, as long as we stay above, I think the worst case scenario, let's say there are more selling coming this remainder of this week. Buyers, and I talked about this entire last couple of days, that buyers want to make sure at least a portion of this gap remaining open. By sellers, the bears might want to go after it to fill this gap one more time. If we do see something like that tomorrow, we see any kind of gap down or we see any kind of heavier selling tomorrow, buyers want to make sure, it's okay maybe to get filled some of this gap here, but buyers want to make sure that bottom half of that gap stays open if they want to see this bullish momentum to continue to the upside in an overall sense, right? So let's check out that oscillator. And for the buyers to quickly dismantle this move will be a quick bullish move. Keep in mind, in this kind of price section, you may see a gap down and then quickly seeing the price jumping. And so, sometimes when the market is in that mode where it's ready to kind of break out, and many people are anticipating a breakout, their market will test your patience by giving you some shenanigans, even giving you another shakiness just so that market can bully around a little bit, get you out before the upturn to the upside. Let's check out the oscillator and see if we can extract any more information. So here's a little bit of concerning signal here. So we have, because we didn't see a follow through, right? So I tweeted it out earlier that we did see a full cross earlier today. However, with the last couple hours of fade, you can see that we're seeing whipsawing edge. We're not seeing the oscillator continuing to advance and stretching to the upside. And because of this, you can see here, I'm going to zoom out or zoom in here. Because of this cross, now we have a lower high on the oscillator. And with that, we can say that we have bearish divergence with higher highs on the price section, but lower high on the oscillator. So with this signal, we may see some sort of shenanigan, downside move, some fluctuations, head fakes and traps and all of that. So it will be fun to watch who's gonna be all bullied around this week. And so again, I'll give you this level right here, 421, 420 and 420 will be a short to micro term support. more of a, intermediate to short term, I'll say 419 and the 418 or so, right? But again, buyers want to make sure at least little bit of that, at least second half this gap remains open. You see this entire gap, at least second half the gap remains open. They want to see the momentum continuing. Like bears want to do, completely filling this entirety of this gap and dismantling what we've been built. We talked about this energy's been built with the higher lows on the oscillator, and we saw that breakout, and I put that little purple circle there right here to let you know that energy's been released, right? And before we can get into a smooth, strong uptrend that could last for a week or two, we've been examine this for this entire week. And with that bearish divergence, I think bears are threatening to kind of dismantle that release of that energy. So we'll have to see how the market plays out. It will be very, very interesting, how this market is preparing for the next couple of days. You guys enjoy the rest of this evening, and good luck trading tomorrow.